When we think of the Eastern Front in World War II, iconic images come to mind: harsh Russian winters, relentless German offensives, and fierce Soviet resistance. But hidden beneath these stories lies a forgotten chapter: the immense contribution and bravery of Asian soldiers in the Soviet Red Army, particularly in the defense of key cities like Moscow and Stalingrad, and their participation in several other major battles that turned the tide of the war. The Soviet Union was a vast and multi-ethnic empire, stretching from Eastern Europe to the heart of Central Asia. During World War II, millions of men from across this territory were drafted into the Red Army. Among them were tens of thousands from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Azerbaijan. These Central Asian soldiers, often from rural, nomadic, or mountainous communities, fought in some of the most crucial battles of the war. Despite linguistic, cultural, and environmental differences, they quickly adapted to military life and were deployed across various fronts alongside Russian, Ukrainian, and other Soviet soldiers. While many of their stories have faded from mainstream historical accounts, their courage left a lasting legacy. As the German Wehrmacht advanced towards Moscow in late 1941 under Operation Typhoon, Soviet forces were desperate to protect the capital. Among the defenders was the 316th Rifle Division, made up largely of Kazakh and Kyrgyz soldiers, led by the legendary General Ivan Panfilov. One of the most iconic stories from this period is that of Panfilov's 28 guardsmen, who reportedly held back dozens of German tanks near Dubozakovo. Though the full truth of the event has been debated, the courage of these men, many of them Central Asians, became a symbol of Soviet resistance and heroism. In one of the most brutal and decisive battles in human history, the Battle of Stalingrad saw massive Soviet losses, but also incredible resolve. Central Asian divisions, including soldiers from Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, were among the Red Army troops defending the city. They fought amid ruins, under constant artillery fire, in bitter winter conditions, and in deadly hand-to-hand combat. Despite facing prejudice within the Soviet system, many Asian soldiers were recognized for their bravery, with some receiving the highest military honor, Hero of the Soviet Union. Asian soldiers didn't just defend Moscow and Stalingrad. They played critical roles in many other key battles across the Eastern Front. In the Battle of Kursk, the largest tank battle in history, Central Asian troops helped resist a massive German offensive and supported Soviet counterattacks that pushed the Germans back permanently. During the nearly 900-day siege of Leningrad, Central Asian soldiers aided in critical supply operations, especially the Road of Life, across frozen Lake Ladoga, and participated in efforts to lift the blockade. In the Crimean Offensive, Uzbek and Turkmen units were instrumental in fighting through mountainous terrain and urban strongholds like Sevastopol. During the Vistula-Oder Offensive, as the Red Army advanced toward Berlin, Central Asian divisions helped liberate parts of Poland and maintain pressure on retreating German forces. In the final storming of Hitler's capital, Asian soldiers took part in fierce street battles and helped raise the Soviet flag over the Reichstag, sealing the end of Nazi Germany. After the defeat of Germany, the Soviet Union turned east. Central Asian soldiers were among those who invaded Japanese-occupied Manchuria, Korea, and parts of China, helping end the war in Asia during the Soviet-Japanese War of August 1945. For decades, the contributions of Central Asian soldiers were overlooked or minimized. However, in recent years, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and other nations have begun to commemorate their World War II heroes through monuments, museum exhibits, and national remembrance days. Their service reminds us that World War II was truly a global conflict, and the Soviet victory on the Eastern Front was achieved through the sacrifices of people from many ethnicities, not just Slavic Russians. These brave men, often far from home and fighting in unfamiliar lands, showed extraordinary courage and determination. They did not just fight for the Soviet Union. They fought to defeat fascism, protect their people, and uphold a vision of freedom for future generations.